ELISSA binti AZHAR and I am from EMD 6N3A1. So today I'm going to explain about Project 2 for Control Engineering, which is development of smart apartment window and door system using LDR sensor and servo. So in this video, I'm going to explain about the components placement, the coding, the simulation, and I've already prepared one animation video to represent the simulation. This is the component placement for the smart apartment system that I've done. Now I'm going to explain about the components that I use. The first component is Arduino Uno R3. The second one is breadboard. The third one is photoresistor and resistor, which use as LDR sensor in this system to detect light. Next is ultrasonic distance sensor, which is going to detect any movement in its range. And these two blue components is micro servo that represent the door and window of this system. The last one is wires. So next we move to wires function. The black wire from ground are connected to this breadboard. So the whole line here is considered as ground. While the red wire at 5 volt at this Arduino Uno R3 are connected to this breadboard, and same goes to the ground. All these lines here are having a voltage at 5 volt now. So every components here are connected to the 5 volt and ground to complete the loop. Not to forget that all signals wires such as this one, and this one are connected to the digital pins here at Arduino Uno R3. The last one, the connector of terminal 2 from here of photoresistor and resistor are connected to the analog in at A0 of this Arduino Uno R3. Now let's move to the coding. So the first one that I use is output, which is rotate servo on pin 9 to 0 degree. This one represents the micro servo for door. And then I use variable. First, before we use set this one, we need to set the variable. We need to create it first. So I use LDR and ultrasonic sensor to represent the system. So I use set and change it into ultrasonic sensor 2, and then I input read ultrasonic sensor distance sensor on trigger 10. Okay, and then I use control if, and then I insert math first, this one, and set it into 150, and then I use output again, rotate servo on pin 9 to 90 degree, and control wait for 3 seconds. This one is very important for safety purpose because it will wait for 3 seconds before the door closes. And then I use output again and rotate servo on pin 9 to 0 degree. And then we move to the next one, which is LDR system. First I use set LDR to 0 function here. And then I use input read pin A0. And then I use control if, this one, and then I insert math, which is this one, and put variables LDR, and then I use output rotate servo on pin 3 to 90 degree and rotate servo on pin 3 to 0 degree. So that's all for the coding. Now I'm going to explain about this ultrasonic distance sensor first. Let's say that this bullet is a person, and this is the range that the ultrasonic distance sensor will detect a person. So let's say that person enters the area of the detection, and then the doors will open. And then when the person passes through this range, it will wait for 3 seconds before it closes for safety. This LDR system will give an output for the window to open or close itself. So when it detects some amount of light, it will open like in the morning. But when it detects a low amount of light, it will close like in the evening. we move to an animation of the simulation. This smart apartment system is ideal for those who are disabled. Sarah in this video is an example of a disabled person who requires the use of a wheelchair to move around. She lives on her own. Sarah may find it difficult to open and close her house's doors and windows at times. So, I created this system to assist her in overcoming her difficulties. If Sarah brings something with her and moves towards the door, the sensor on top of the door will detect Sarah's movement. The door will be open and stay for 3 seconds before it closes for safety purpose. Now, we move to Windows problem. Since Sarah lives alone, it might be difficult for her to open and close the window. So, LDR sensor system helps Sarah to open the window itself when it detects light in the morning, and it will close when there is no sunlight anymore after sunset in the evening.